Welcome back to Sports Talk Podcast 88. Today we're going to be talking about MLB. I have a change of pace here in between the kitchen and the living room right now, as you can see. So I decided to go ahead and just do it out here and drink my coffee out here. So what's the point of going back to my room and recording this? We're going to talk about the MLB. We have 4 games to talk about, apparently, and basically, I've been busy with the hockey scene. I haven't done any of the baseball scene. I do apologize for that. If you're a baseball fan, I do apologize. All right, so game 1, we had the Giants versus the Phillies. Phillies lost to the Giants 3-2, and they played their hearts out. I mean, Philly did, and Giants kind of beat them probably at the last second. I think it was the 8th inning or the 9th inning. I was focused on the hockey. I can't really tell who scored what yet. So I think the Giants scored on the last 2 innings to make it 3-2. So it was like you can't really blame them for the most part. But game 2 here on the MLB side of it, you got the Astros beating the Orioles 5-11. And apparently, 5-11 doesn't mean diddly squat. I mean, that's a blowout right there. You can't really say anything else. You really can't. This clears up my senses and my phlegm. But no, I mean, 11-5 against the Orioles. Astros win 11-5. You can't really beat that. And assuming that they did okay, it's like they had to score anything else, but usually I think the Astros really kind of scored out against the Orioles because it was like, how can they really score against them, not knowing that they kind of really push it to the limit. You can't really understand why, to where they did that, and usually they try playing their hearts out. But I think it was like in the middle of the 5th or 4th inning, or the very beginning of those innings, the Astros decided to fight back. Because I haven't checked out the results yet to the game, and if they did try to score. But no, they tried to catch up as much as they could. The Orioles tried to do that. And apparently that it didn't work out for the most part. But Philly kind of lost against the Giants. The Phillies, they lost against the Giants very bad. It was like 3-2. But this here, they were down by if we talk about game 2 that I'm talking about, along with game 1, if you compare them side by side, there's no comparison. I mean, game 2, the Astros and the Orioles 5-11, that's a pretty close game right there. Nobody sees it that way. But a lot of people will argue with me that it is a close game, but they say it would be a blowout. They say it would be a shutout, more than anything else. For the most part, So for the most part, they really got shut out and did their best, Orioles tried their best. They kind of really took it down the ring at the first half, being the outs. During the first 2 innings, I would say first 3. Then I think in the 4th through 5th inning, the Astros decided to fight back, unless this is vice versa, where they scored in mostly all the innings of all 9 innings of the baseball field, to where, the Astros scored every inning imaginable. I have to look at the stats on that, for the most part. may get back with you on that one. I may not, but depends on what we can get. But the Astros cream the Orioles 5-11. So you can't really guarantee why. Why would they do that? And you look at a game like this. Like I said, a lot of baseball games I covered on my old town, and this one, so far the baseball hits have been hitting. They've been hitting the bat. They've been hitting the bat like this, and I think what they're trying to do is go for. And they've been hitting the bats very constantly. Maybe during their third out, maybe during their second out, the batters on the Astros and a couple other teams, their batting position is kind of worth it to where, yeah, there is going to be an issue there. So I think when they're swinging it, it depends on what they do. I don't like when they go like this and hold like this. I mean, how can you swing a baseball doing that? I don't know how they could do it, I'm just not a big fan of players doing it. I never was. I mean, hold up that, you can understand. But I never was a big fan of holding them like this, where I know it's a curve swing, but it's just a weird stunt for me, a weird stance. It's just how it is. But no, 11-5 against the Orioles. It was like shutout. It was a blowout mostly. And it was like one of the worst games I've heard that the Orioles have suffered. Now, game 3 for the MLB side of this would be the Rockets and the Reds. The Reds have suffered quite a bit of loss lately, to where, yeah, it's another blowout, but down by 2 for the Rockets. But I'm going to go with game 4, actually, between Nationals and the Mets. They were down by 1. So the Mets really scored quite a bit in the baseball area against the Nationals. And apparently they did okay. They did great. And the New York Mets fought their hearts out. We're going to go backwards here in a minute. But no, they fought their hearts out to where, yeah, I mean, this game was very close. I know I'm going backwards here from game 4 to game 3, but when you look at a close game like this, you can't deny that between any team. But I figured the Nationals versus the Mets, I knew it would be a close game. And if you're a diehard New York fan, if you're a diehard New York fan right now, you understand what the New York Mets are doing. You know what they're doing to a certain degree. And if you're a New York fan right now, New York Mets fan, you would be pretty pissed off. You would be pretty angry that they lost by 1 point. And the Nationals, they creamed them 5-4, and it was like, but no, if you're a New York fan right now, you can understand the appeal. All right, game 3 here. Yeah, we did cover the other two. Okay, but game 3 here between the Rockets and the Reds, that was another close game. And the Reds won 6-4 against the Rockets. And it's just how it was. I mean, it was like one knockout after another. I mean, like I said, it depends on the batting of the player. I mean, it depends on the batting, but it also depends on the pitcher. Because when they're pitching like this, there's a couple of things you can do with pitching. You can really, if they're pitching like this or throwing it like this with 3-way, you got to really think that the pitching side of it can really knock out your opponent. But on the other hand, there is a certain aspect of that. I mean, these were blue close baseball games, basically. These were blue close baseball games that I think that they're pretty good right now for the season. And when it comes to all these teams, actually, right now, they've been doing pretty good. Offhand, they've been doing good. But I'm just saying, if you're right now a Philly fan or a New York Mets fan right now, you will be pretty upset with your team right now. I mean, Philly losing against the Giants 3-2. The Mets losing against the Nationals 5-4. You know, you would be pretty upset right now. I mean, who wouldn't? If you're a diehard Philly fan or a New York fan, you know, and that goes for any sport. I mean, you're going to have teams that are going to win and lose, but this is like huge for them. But now against the Nationals, that was a pretty close game for Mets to go ahead and do what they can. That was a pretty close game. I mean, great work from the actual lineup for that. You know, you have to really give them kudos for doing what they're doing. I mean, that's something out of the ordinary that you can do. I mean, Philly kind of played their hearts out too. The Phillies, they kind of played their hearts out, 3-2. I mean, but it was a one lopsided again against the Giants, and you know you can't really deny that. But no, I mean it was pretty good. I mean, but you can't ask for more than that between the Mets and the Nationals. You can't. I mean, you totally can't. So apparently that's what it is. You can't really deny that. For the most part, you can't deny it. So, I mean, that's very good for them. You know, you take it down the chain, you move it along. And that's how it is. I mean, that's how it is in baseball. The hardest thing with baseball players is when they try to go from inning to inning. I've done it before, but it's kind of ridiculous. Where you're trying to catch the guy on third, first, and second base to get the out. I mean, that's not really easy to do, but to do it instead of looking at the batter, most players will look at the next player over, you know. And I ask myself how they can do it, you know, and pretty much it's crazy how they can do it. It's better if you get to the batter and hit the out. Well, but I wanted to really throw this out before I end the video here, is that if you like sports and you like this new version of it, it used to be called Class Sports, but now I call it Sports Talk Podcast 81. I know you guys like the name, apparently. It's been booming. So thank you for all the support lately in the past couple hours. So yeah, this new version of the Sports Podcast has been booming. I mean, thank you for the bottom of my heart. For kudos to everybody. But if you like more sports, there's going to be more of it. Like and subscribe to the channel. So, but now if you guys think about this, let me know in the comments down below in the baseball scene. And go from there. So until next time, John signing off. Take care.